Hey everyone, we're going to try that again. So I put myself on a little break. I shouldn't be getting any phone calls. Okay, so recapping, somebody asked on the YouTube channel, I understand the disdain military culture would have for groups like Weather Underground. I'm curious to know what are the prevailing attitudes in the military towards right-wing groups like militias who are hostile towards the U.S. government. It is difficult to say. With a lot of, I think most veterans would be or most soldiers would kind of roll their eyes at a lot of, especially the people who are the preppers and shit like that. Uh, of course, I can't speak for all of them. There are plenty of soldiers who believe that these are all absolute patriots who deserve to be recognized and honored and blah blah blah. Personally, most of the people that I know, when they saw all the shit that was going down at the Bundy Ranch, kind of looked at it as like, who the fuck are these dumbasses pointing guns at the ATF like they're going to do something? Of course, the problem is that pointing guns at the ATF at the Bundy Ranch actually worked. Uh, so in general, there's a lot of there's not a lot of left wing people in the military. There are definitely a lot of right wingers though, but there is certainly a kind of a wall that you hit on the right wing, where obviously people like the Nazis, the KKK, people who are like very obviously right wing and complete shitheads, completely out the door. Don't want to have anything to do with them. But you start coming in a little bit, and you got I'm sure there's plenty of people in the military who think Ben Shapiro is fantastic. I'm sure there's a lot of soldiers who think that Mike Cernovich has a lot of good ideas. So there are these like prevailing right wing people, but those people, Shapiro and Cernovich and the people on those ends, those are still people who are still 100% back to blue, back to flags, back to troops, things like that. So I think the big thing is that it's really not until you point a gun at an American troop that suddenly it's like, well, wait a minute, how about you go fuck yourself with that one? Um, that said, there are also plenty of people who join the military and join the police, get the training that they get from the military, and go back and use them at extremist right wing groups. We know that there are white nationalists in the military. Probably not as many leftists, not as many as the leftists, but there are people who join the military specifically to get the training, the combat training, the tactical training, and take it back and go train up people like the three percenters. There's when it comes to people who have background in the military and then get out and what they do after that, if you're going to look towards right-wing militias, especially the ones that for some reason popped up right around November of 2008, can't imagine what national thing may have happened then that would cause a bunch of crazy white people to suddenly want to tote guns around and talk about how the Constitution is their BFF. Those are the ones that you really have to worry about and look out for, because they're not people who, you know, they're not hostile towards they are hostile towards the U.S. government, but they feel like they have a reason to be. Most veterans, I think, would probably not fucking let that shit fly. Especially like with three percenters. I know most of the veterans that I've talked to, and granted, I've talked to reservists and people that I follow online. So I live inside of a military bubble in a way. But I would encourage you, if you're in the military, go out and ask the people around, hey, what do you think about the three percenters? What do you think about the oath keepers, things like that? Because I am interested to see what the troops that are on Fort Bragg or Fort Campbell or out at Benning would think about, three percenters, the people who show up to protect the constitutional right of every Nazi dipshit and every KKK dipshit that shows up. Um, so I guess, long story short, if you are anti-government, it's going to be a problem. But most right-wingers are smart enough to continue to be pro-government, so they kind of get under the hatred from the military or the concern of the military, and either would have people who are in the military who are into them, like I said, Shapiro, Cernovich. A lot of people, back when I was in Afghanistan in 2008, a lot of people really liked Bill O'Reilly. Then again, things were not as fucking crazy in 2004. Uh, let's say Afghanistan 2004. Yeah, things weren't as crazy back then. So it's just as long as you keep flying that flag, you can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want. As soon as you put a swastika on it, though, that's when you're gonna get fucking punched in the face by a lot of people. All right, we're gonna upload this to YouTube, and be sure to check it out. If I put all these up on the What a Hell of a Way to Die Facebook page, so if you want to go ahead and follow there on Facebook, you'll see these. There's also plenty of updates that I do there as well. If Twitter is not the only social media that you like, or if YouTube's not the only one that you like, if you want to fucking round it out with the big three, go ahead and follow What a Hell of a Way to Die on Facebook. And be sure to keep sending questions, and we'll keep doing these. Thanks.